Hi there, more Gingery Lathe action. Okay, so not so much doing stuff as talking about doing stuff. And yes, I did a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to show you. Well, that was sufficiently confusing. That's not relevant. Okay, here are two of the parts, and here are three more patterns. Let's talk about them. We're going to start with this. This is the faceplate, right? You clamp things onto this. This goes into the lathe, I believe. And this doesn't have like a chuck. There's no like jaws for this. You have to like bolt things to it. You'll see that later. But this is a part that I need to cast. This isn't one of the parts that I had that was given to me by Chirpy, like this. This was something that, oddly enough, Chirpy, same guy, has already modeled this and put it online. I'll put a link to it down below. This printed with some draft even. So this is exactly the thing that the book tells you to make, but I printed it. Don't mind the different colors. That's because I was printing in blue, because I was just running the blue out because I don't want it anymore. And then I ran out. I was like, oh crap, I don't have any left. So I quickly switched it to yellow and then finished it. And then if this was like 3 more layers, I would have run out of yellow. So that was exciting. That's the first time I changed the filament halfway through a print. So glad that worked. But this is basically more or less just the normal part. This one, not so much. I printed in 2. This is the carriage assembly. So this is the model, and what I did is I split it so I could print them like this, and then glue them together. This is another part that I have to cast. This also has some draft to it, which is very nice. This one is also modeled by Chirpy, and it is modified. Remember last video I said this is not going to be a by-the-book build because some of the parts are beefed up a bit. The bed casting, that's thicker, that's beefier than it's supposed to be, and this has these kind of wings that stick out more. The standard one follows these lines here straight through, so it doesn't have these extra big chunks. And I'm not entirely sure that those would add a lot of stiffness. They might, but what they definitely do add is mass, because you want mass with the lathe. That's one of the many reasons why they're usually made out of cast iron. And this is, of course, aluminum. I think it adds a bit of length, looks like, and I think it adds some stiffness in this direction, perhaps. But definitely the extra mass is never a bad thing, unless you ask my doctor. So with this, glue it together, ram it up in sand, and cast. This is also on, I think these are both on Thingiverse, and Chirpy has them on Thingiverse. I'll link down below. He has, along with, I don't know about this, it might be with this. He also has other models for gingery castings, like add-ons. So check those out. They are printable, as you can see. And this is pretty honking big. And I printed this just on a Prusa i3 Mark IIs. Whoops. So this is also, see, it's smaller. So this could print on it too, if you were to print this instead of making it out of wood. And this is a little bit long. You see, I'm not entirely sure that would fit on an i3. It might. It definitely could, potentially. If you have something like a CR10, no problem. This is the longest part, I think, other than the bed, which you probably can't print that anyway. But it just goes to show, even the bulky things, because most of the castings are smaller than this, even the bulky things can just be printed. And you can find the models online. So, if you want to make this thing and you're not really into the woodworking part of pattern making, try 3D printing. This is a good use of a 3D printer. The third and final print that I'm going to show you here is this one. This is the split nut. You see, you have a threaded rod in here and you disengage or engage to do the auto feed. Now, in the book, you make this out of wood. There's a metal shaft that goes through here when you ram it up. Then you take it out of the sand and you stick a little bit of the metal, a little small metal rod back in and cast around it. You also pack in some putty and you have to turn the nut onto the threaded rod with the putty in there, which I'll show you later. And that leaves an impression of the threads, which is kind of cool. It's kind of a cool trick. I did not model the threads in. So this is basically, this part is the wood part of this pattern. You make part of it in wood, you have the metal core and the threaded rod and putty that he talks about, and none of that was modeled at all. This is just the wood part. It just saves you making the wood thing. You still have to follow all the other instructions. This is a model that I made. It also has draft here and some fillets and, you know, rounded edges. It's nice. It looks nice, right? It's kind of a weird part. This was not anywhere online, so I modeled it as a by-the-book thing, and I put it online. It's on My Mini Factory. I'll put a link down below. As of this recording, the part has not been approved. So probably by the time you read this or watch this, or you don't read a video, what am I saying? Probably by the time you watch this, this will be online on My Mini Factory, publicly searchable, or just click on the link down below. Now before I sign off here, the nature of this lathe build seems to be not really doable on a week-to-week thing. I can't do like a complete video a week on this because some of these things are taking longer. Like that plate, that custom size plate still isn't here yet. That's a rant for another video. But I'm probably going to have to start peppering in like other things, you know, not long-term projects, but like little one, you know, it's like, because I still want to do something once a week. I mean, it's fun. I like doing this stuff. And I can't do like a lathe video once a week, at least not at the moment. So the next lathe video might actually be next week. Depends how this weekend goes weather-wise. We might get another blizzard. I need to cast all of these, obviously. So that's an easy next video. But after that step, I don't know what the next lathe video is going to be. So I said we're going to just hammer through this until it's done. Probably not. Probably going to have to add other junk in there. And you see my breath? It's freaking cold out here. And if you're asking, why don't I turn the heater on? Well, this happened. So, this happened. Shattered glass. That light is supposed to be up there. That's going to be fun to clean up. A light fell on it. Give it a break. It's an old heater. I mean, I just made it, but I just made it from super old parts. Yeah, it's still down there. It looks really sad. I have to fix that. If I turned it on right now, it would short out and catch on fire. So that's not good. I'm going to go inside where I can feel my face again, and we're going to call it a day. Signing off from the Ice Planet Hoth. See you next time.